Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's me, Mitch, and welcome. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch, and good to see you. Good to see you, and drink it. Drink it if you got it. Oh, wow. I've been saving that first sip for now. Yes, sir. And let me see real quick, take a glance and see if I am live. It appears I am. I don't see action. There goes Rumble. Hey, I am live all over the place. Isn't that great? Wow. The chat this morning has been absolutely nuts. 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 Good to see it. Good to see all you guys. And here it is, Tuesday. A full week. A full week since Election Day. And wow. It has been active in the world of politics. It's been active. So much is happening. So much pain and anguish on one side. So much celebration on the other. It's a shame we're so divided. It really is. It's a shame it has to be that way. But it does have to be that way because that's politics. And that's all these politicians seem to know. Create the division. Create division. That's it. That's the name of the game in politics. And and the ironic part is, while they're creating all this division, they're all blaming the other guy and saying that we need to unite. We need to unite. Last time I remember this country uniting was on 9/11, 2001. It lasted about 24 hours. That's about how much chance we have to actually unite. And I don't want to see another one of those events to unite us again for another day or two. No, it's very sad. It's very sad. Well, we got a good crowd here to start off. We got 10 people in Rumble. No chat yet. Nobody has said hello to anybody yet in the Rumble chat, but there are 10 people watching over there. We got 67 people, early risers here. Got everybody in the chat. Good deal, good deal. And I got Ellen in the green room. So let me bring Ellen in and say good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, same to you. And look at this. Look at this, Ellen. Izzy.
See.
Izzy says good morning. A $2 super chat. Thank you. Thank you so much. Much appreciated, my friend.
I haven't seen Izzy before. Where are you from?
Is it Izzy or Lizzie? It's Lizzie. Lizzie. Oh my. Sorry, Lizzie. I lost your L there. No, we've seen Lizzie before. Yeah, Lizzie. Good to see you. I'm sorry I called you Izzy. This is just me trying to pick out these names in tiny little type on the computer screen first thing in the morning before I've had more. I need more of this. I need a little
better
more
have
of
another
this.
sip.
Yeah, I think so. I'll never make that mistake again because if it comes up looking like Izzy, I'm going to call it Lizzie anyway.
Well, that happens. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been a whole week since the big election.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. And time is a funny thing, isn't it? Sometimes everything seems like yesterday, and sometimes it seems like it'll never come, even if it's 2 days away, And we've got a couple people, Rod Weeder and No Slow, in the Rumble chat. Good morning to you guys. And I'm going to say good morning in a little while to people in here. And I think today I had better start at 8:30 when we went live because there's just too much chat happened beforehand. I would never get through it.
Yes. Did you see that? My early birds, there was a big pre-party going on.
God, yes, there was. Yes, there was. Look at them all. So I'm going to start I'm going to start at 8:30, and anybody that is in the chat now probably are still people that were in the pre-show, except for maybe Aunt B. So I'll say hi to Aunt B because Aunt B's right there. She's right there at 8:30. Okay, she said she was probably not going to make it. She was going to do exercises or something And we have Aussie Gal in the Rumble chat too, under the name, it's green. I can't read these things when they're green or blue. Oh, God, they just blend into the dark background.
Oh, is
So
that in Rumble that
in
you're
Rumble, yeah, she's got, but she said hello from Aussie Gal, but like most of us in Rumble, has a different name. But thanks for telling us who it is, and you'd be very kind to me in my eyes if you would change your color to pink or gold or some other bright color, so I can read them against that dark screen. It's very tough out here, especially as the sun starts coming up and it gets brighter and brighter and brighter out here on these screens. So everything all right with you, Ellen? You still feeling pretty good?
Everything is great. I am feeling back to my usual self.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Which I think
That's great. And Aussie Gal says, sorry, newbie to Rumble. No, don't be new. Nobody knows that I want people to make their things red or yellow yet. I said that once yesterday, so no need to be sorry. No need to be sorry, that's for sure. So what's new with you?
Well, let's see. So has anyone ever had beef bacon at my local butcher shop that I go to? They had some beef bacon. So I bought that. I haven't tried it yet. But someone I know who's doing carnivore was raving about this beef bacon. So anyway, I'm gonna give it a try.
Well, good. Aussie Gal, I don't mean to make work for you over there. She says not sure how to change colors. Don't worry about it. It's no big thing. If you can figure out how to do it, that's great. But don't worry about it.
I can't remember you going.
Yeah, I never even found that yet on Rumble, so I don't have a clue.
Oh, Aussie Gal is here. Hi, Aussie Gal.
Yeah, she's the one that I've been chatting with in Rumble. Yeah, she's got us up on both. Either that or she changed back. God, there's 29 people in Rumble viewing this already. Isn't that great? Say hello, guys. And
it's nice to see her.
Here's one in blue. Let me lean in a second. It says United Carnivore. Change your color, Mike, from blue to red or something like that. United Carnivore. Mike Seeley from Tampa Bay. So, yep. Carnivore Unite, he said. Carnivores Unite. Yeah, people are finding their way over to Rumble, and the only thing about Rumble because I watched my video, my little gym video from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see how it came out on Rumble, and they stick ads everywhere, and I have no way to turn them off. So you're going to get, and they want everybody to join their Rumble Premium. It's like $10, $11 a month, and that would be ad free. Mm-hmm. But what they give you for that evidently is all of the subscriptions to the paid people. Like if you would be paying $100 a year for Steven Crowder, let's say, and his little network of shows that you get, that's now included in the Rumble Premium, and I'm sure many other political, like Dan Bongino, many of the other political shows over there, you'd get without having to subscribe individually to each of them. So in that rate, I'm going to look more into that, and I may actually do it because I do watch. There are some things I watch on Rumble because they talk about things and they have the benefit of still free speech and no censorship, and it's amazing the difference in the programming when you can say what you want to say without having to worry about being punished by the young liberal techies at YouTube who moderate and are flashed every time somebody says certain keywords. They have to make a decision. Do I want to delete this guy? Do I want to give him a strike for, their community guidelines? are a joke. Sorry, YouTube. Sorry, young techie that is reading the transcript of what I just said, because it's probably going to get flashed in front of you, so you can decide whether to do away with me. That's the pressure that we are. After all the work we do to build our presence on YouTube, we're monitored unmercifully, and we always have to worry about that. It's terrible. It's terrible. But yet, I couldn't do this if it was Rumble only right now. So we're stuck. We're stuck. And even Crowder, who has, a huge following on Rumble, still restreams it on YouTube, even though they demonetized him, because he knows that's where billions of people are, and they'll find out about him and then go over and join his thing on Rumble. So it's a transition, and I'm hoping beyond hope that somehow with the new administration, this stuff in most part will finally just go away.
It will. But anyway, in the meantime, we've got this great chat going in YouTube.
Yes, we do. And I'm going to stop talking about politics, but that's enough monologuing for me this morning. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you. And I'm going to put you up in your
and I'll be talking
penthouse, up in your penthouse. And there you go.
Okay.
And I'm going to have another sip of my coffee, and then I'm going to start saying hi to people. I got a question of in the chat, another green person. I can hardly read that. PARTC 64 question, wondering how much homemade electrolyte powder to have every day. If you're using the mix that I put out there, 1 teaspoonful is a dose. You can have a dose, and if you still get cramps and it's not, you think you need more, you can take 2 doses. It's not enough to be too much. 1 to 2 doses. I talk about it in my video about the dosage and everything, but good question. Thank you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to 8:30 here, and I'm going to start with Graceful Lily. Good morning to you. Good morning. And then I said Aunt B came in. Good morning, Aunt B. And Granny Boo too is here. Good to see you. Brian Nunn, drinking cold brew. That works. That works. A lot of people like cold brew coffee. And this person is not only here, but prolific. And here's somebody I haven't seen in the morning in a while. Naruto. How you doing? Naruto-kun. She's been with me since the very beginning of my channel.
Yes, it's good to see her here.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Always good to see you. Cindy Braddock, good morning, gang. And who is this? This is Jack 51 from Arizona, 6:30 here in Arizona. Well, good morning to you. And don't forget, speaking of time, tomorrow morning we're going to be doing this at 10 o'clock a.m., which will allow Mitch to run to Sam's Club and be first for the markdown meats if there are any. So I'll let you know tomorrow how that went.
That's important.
Terry Sue, good morning. Time 4. I don't know. I think she hit the enter button. Polish Mike says, good morning, boss. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you. And there's the suspense. It's time for coffee. Yes, Valerie Thompson says, good morning, everybody. And Papa Carnivore is here giving out medical advice to virtually everybody. And it's too long for me to put up in the hello phase of this thing. Shannon Ross says, good morning from Indiana. I just found this group last week. Welcome, Shannon. Good to see you. Great to see you here. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome from Indiana. You're up there near where Ellen is. Lori's Carnivore Story is here. How you doing? Hello, Ellen, she says. She's evidently responding to something that you said in a chat with her. And Satya's here, and Satya's saying hi to Jack 51. She's also in Arizona. Well, Arizona is very, very well represented here this morning. Dawn. What an appropriate name for a morning live stream. Don't you think? Dawn. Good morning from South Dakota. I see Aunt B is still with us. Rick Charger Mopar from Miami is here. Good to see you. The election put my vegan friends in the hospital.
Well, I mean, that's not.
I will drink. I will drink to that. Oh my God.
Oh, oh, well, Rick, we hope your friend gets better.
We hope so, yeah, and maybe starts eating a little meat, but not likely in the hospital. They will certainly feed his vegan. They have definitely have a huge menu for
Yeah.
to cater to the vegan lifestyle, and it's not just coincidence. It's absolutely amazing that I think, and I don't know if it's ever been proven or there's ever been any studies, but I absolutely think that 99% of all vegans are liberals. I mean, it just kind of goes with the territory.
It does seem to.
It does, doesn't it?
Mm.
Cindy Braddock, good morning. Good morning. That was their plan. Yeah, you guys are talking to each other, and Ellen agreed with her. Turamir's here. How you doing, Turamir? I need to get back to the lion diet when I get back to Finland. Yes, it's very, very easy here to get waylaid, especially if you go to Las Vegas. Although they do have prime rib buffets there, and you can certainly find plenty of meat to eat. Sandy Blythe is here. How you doing? Good morning, Sandy. And here's Peter. How you doing, Peter? Yeah, you're still getting thanked for being on Curry. I was on Curry 3 times, Peter. I don't know what the hell you did, but nobody thanked me in perpetuity for being on Curry's show. Jack 51, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. And I won't put that one up. Trucking Carnivores here. How you doing? Good morning. Where are you today? You're in California today. That's one thing we do here. We need to have a map on the wall with a pin that we can move around, keeping track of you.
That would be a great idea to have a map of where, all the viewers are.
Yeah, but we'd have to keep changing it every day. We have a couple of over the road drivers that
Right.
that are always here, and they're always moving around. Randy K is one of them. Yeah, and here is Terry Sue is here. How you doing, Terry? Good to see you. And there was that super chat again from Lizzie. Thanks so much. Eddie Edwards is here. Good morning. Mama Bear. How you doing, Mama Bear? Good to see you. And the baddest cat. I like that handle. Good to see you. Booby Goats is here. Here's Mike Seeley. There's Mike Seeley. Mike Seeley, United Carnivore from Tampa, and I'm sure his dad will probably follow pretty soon. Tammy's here. Hiya, Tammy. Good morning to you. Good to see you. And there's Lizzie, says she's new. You're right, Ellen. I didn't recognize that. Lizzie from Louisiana. Oh, good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you're here, and thanks again. Thanks again. And Jesse Farmer is here. Good to see you. Good to see you, Jesse. Lizzie says, I found this channel about a week ago and I loved it. Well, I love it. Well, great. I hope you stick around. Even though sometimes I do get a little controversial. Sometimes I'm not in a great mood. I'm just a human being like the rest of us. And the difference between me and the rest of us is I don't put on an act. Ellen will tell you that.
That's right.
I don't put on any act. What you hear from me at any given minute is exactly what's on my mind. And if I'm unhappy about something, I'll talk about it. This is not show business for me. This is a reality show about the real world and reality. And there's good and there's bad. In the morning, I try to project positivity and motivation. And we talked about that yesterday, didn't we, Ellen? We talked about the fact that I made the connection. It just hit me yesterday that this morning stream, and the reason why I think people coming back to it are like an AA meeting for alcoholics. And people go to these meetings every day because of the community, because it motivates them, because it reminds them of things that they need to be aware of and on guard for 24/7. And that is the fact that your physiology and your addictions are always trying to control you. And that's a devious mechanism that negotiates with you and more often than not gets its way, and you put your diet off till tomorrow. So this is, and I'm going to be aware of that every morning now, that this is a support group. And when you ask questions, and I hope you do, ask questions about the problems that you're having, why you're having such a hard time sticking to this. Those are the most important things we can talk about. Now, I've never been to an AA meeting, but I've seen many of them in movies and on TV, and I can imagine that some of them have actually portrayed a very real picture of what goes on and what's said in those things. And the first thing that anybody says when they open their mouth is they say their name and they admit that they got a problem. Hi, I'm Mitch. I'm a carbohydrate addict. And everybody says, hi, Mitch. And then they usually tell a story of a failure they had. And that, I think, helps people try to figure out why. How the hell did that happen? I'm trying to live a carnivore lifestyle. I've gone to all this trouble. I've cleaned my house out. I've done all that stuff. Why can't I resist these cravings? And everybody else in the world, and here's the problem, everybody else in the world is telling you how weak you are. And it's your fault because you're not doing what people are telling you to do, whether it's the standard diet, whether it's a low fat, whatever it is. Your doctors are telling you you're just not trying hard enough to starve yourself and overwork yourself. And everybody comes away with the feeling that they've failed. They're a failure. Couldn't be further from the truth. Nobody in this group, not in the 30 people that are watching on Rumble or the 105 people I've got here on YouTube, none of you are failures. None of it is your fault. And I'm glad that I was led into this, because in my show notes that I made for myself today, that I wrote the words, it's not your fault. I think that is one of the most important messages that we can hear every day, and to know that we're not weak. We are animals like every other animal and subject to the urges and control of what our bodies think they need. And that's the key. Your body still thinks it needs sugar, even though your conscious mind knows how harmful it is. And as long as that's still the case, you are going to fail. And to me, that's the reason why a zero carb diet, now you can call it carnivore or whatever you want to call it. Problem with the word carnivore is that meat has been so demonized. But when you say zero carbs and don't use any meat references, it's not as radical sounding. But there is no other way to be zero carb. You either have to starve yourself to death and eat nothing, or just eat protein and fat. Those are your two choices, and that's why I'm so adamant about this fact that the carnivore lifestyle is the only of the tens of thousands of different lunatic diet plans that have come and gone in my lifetime. There is only one that actually will sustainably, and that's an important word. Anybody can lose weight for a while when they get excited about what they're doing, but nobody can do it for life. And this is the closest I've ever gotten at almost 2.5 years now with zero carbs and no desire for carbs and no craving. It's the first of a lifetime of things that actually worked, which is why I'm so convinced that this addiction that we have, and I keep saying this, and I think that it's good for everybody to hear, this addiction that we have, a carbohydrate addiction, an addiction stronger than all the other addictions combined, and I've told you why that is. It is the oldest addiction the human animal and animals before humans have. Why? It has to be treated like any other substance abuse, like drugs, like alcohol, and that is abstinence is the only way towards sustainability. And it sounds so draconian that it scares most people away. But that's why we're here, to be reminded of that. I get so many new people coming in constantly that maybe this is the first time they're actually hearing this message. So I beg your indulgence when I talk about this almost every day, because that's what they do at an AA meeting, is talk about alcoholism. Not only for the people that need the sense of community and need to be reminded, but also for all the new people that have finally screwed up the courage to stand up there and say, hi, my name is Mitch, and I'm a carb addict. So consider this a morning support group, if nothing else. And we'll try to entertain you in the process of putting out that message. And let me get back to this. I'd like to do this until about 9 o'clock, and then we'll go over to some questions. Turamir, I said hi to you already, and Meetitudes is here. How you doing? And welcoming Lizzie. Yes, sir. Let's all welcome each other. And Cindy Braddock, good morning to you. Peter, another Peter. We have 2 Peters now. Wow. Running in the chat, smash the like button. Good morning, USA. Good morning, Peter. We have another Peter Kruger from South Africa. I don't know if that's you and you just changed your name. No, that doesn't look like the picture.
No, another Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, another one. Retired Rick is here. Good to see you, Rick. Blanca, how do you pronounce that? Risco, Blanca, Brisco, maybe, Brisco, something like that. Good morning from California. Well, good morning, California. And Kitchen Witch. Wait, Ellen is Scooby? Oh my God, how did I not know that? Unbelievable, Ellen. They didn't know that you were Scooby. But you have it in your, you have it there in your thing. Title. Under your name, it says Ellen, a.k.a., also known as Scooby. See that? So there you go. That shows you. That just goes to show you that no matter how many times we see something, no matter how many times we hear a message, it never hurts. There's always somebody that hasn't gotten the word yet, and it's a good idea. I think, to do this.
It's confusing. Maybe I should put take poor Scooby out and put my picture on there. Anyway,
I don't. Yeah, you should. Maybe you should.
People. A lot of people know me now, but anyway, that's not too important. Carry on. We'll figure it out.
On my icon, that's a picture of me. The old guy face with a cigar stick and have. Yeah, that's my own. That's my portrait.
Right, that's your thing. So
yeah. That's great, though. That was great.
Dude, I like to see him.
Jeff Streslak, good morning to you, sir. How you doing? Good to see you. And let me see. You got another couple of seconds here of trying to pick out some new people. I've gotten all the way. Oh my God, Ellen, this is. I've made it all the way to 8:35 in the chat, which means I am now 25 minutes behind. Holy cow. I'm not complaining. I actually am
No, no,
awe-inspired that so many people come in here and
people. It's a
so
great
many people
Mhm.
actually, here's an answer to your question from Granny Boo 2. Beef bacon is very good. I want you to tell me how it is because
Yes, I
I,
will.
I will I will definitely
Give the book.
have to say, but here's an alternative view. Meatitude says beef bacon was okay, but
Yeah,
pork is better. It's very tough in my mind to beat bacon,
right.
regular bacon,
Um,
Wright's thick cut bacon, of which I eat every day, almost at least a half a pound. I
mhm.
love that stuff.
Yes.
Obviously, you saw my video yesterday in the gym. Obviously,
Hmm.
I'm not getting fat from eating bacon.
No.
No,
And I am
no.
really blessed, probably second to that, because I've been eating a lot of bacon lately, and I have the butcher shop. They have their own farm, and so they sell bacon from their pigs on the farm, and it's really good.
Oh, that sounds great.
Really
And here,
good.
here, Jack 51 came up with something even more decadent. Beef bacon wrapped in bacon would
I
be
saw
great.
that, so that would be a fresh thought. Yeah, but
Ah, that's
Wonder.
funny. That's funny. That is really, really funny. Ah. And I think that's about it. Tammy Petarch, I think I said hi to you. Booby, I think I said hi to you. And we're now up to 840. Tom, Viking 442 from Tampa's here. Good to see you, Tom. Good to see you. Good to see you. And anything else real quick, while Ellen digs out the first question. But before we do that, oh, here's one I'm so glad I got to this. Steve Rogers, a good friend of the channel. I met Steve in Tampa. He actually got a chance to experience the fear and horror of my driving um, on the way from Tampa back to Melbourne, so he could catch his flight back to Kansas City, Missouri, and got to know him pretty well. Great guy, great guy. Actually, flew all the way down here as a retired Delta employee and able to get a fly anywhere. What a cool deal that is. He got down here to the meetup. He was going to come to the last meetup, but I don't know. I don't know. He didn't make it. Something came up. You know, people do have to work or have a life after all. So good to see you, Steve. Thanks for coming in. And Ellen, I think I see a question here from Stickman Garage.
Oh,
I've
oh,
never heard of that. That's a new
no,
guy,
that's
a new
another new
person,
person.
another new person. So I imagine you were going to bring that to my attention, but since it's right there, I'll put it up on the screen.
Go ahead.
And he asked me a question: will carnivore naturally detox the body of heavy metals like lead and mercury? Um, and then he wrote being, and evidently that was the end of it. But I can only guess at that, but I would have to give it a maybe. I would have to give it a maybe. There are heavy metals that the body will naturally get rid of. I know lead is one of them because people recover from lead poisoning, but there may be some heavy metals. I don't know if copper is one, arsenic. There's a lot of things the body doesn't detox. Most of the foreign things it does. The key to most of those heavy metals is, and what do they call it? Plasmapheresis. What do they call it where they filter your blood?
Oh, plasmapheresis.
Yeah.
Plasmapheresis, right. But you would only need that in a case of severe,
Right, right. So if you were ever diagnosed with a toxicity from maybe one of these heavy metals, which your body will not clear out naturally, they can get rid of a lot of it. But I would have to say, I said maybe, but I would have to say probably. I have to increase the chances of that. Certainly if you stop ingesting these heavy metals. And I think the only place we really need to be careful of that on carnivore would be with some seafood. With some seafood. So instead of eating tuna, which is known to be one of the highest mercury containing foods. And the reason why these huge fish contain so much mercury is the mercury comes up the food chain. It's the little fish, and then the big fish eat them, and the bigger fish eat them, and every time they eat them, they accumulate the mercury that those fish before them accumulated from those fish before them, and they end up with a granddaddy load of mercury. So the moral to that story probably, and I hate to tell anybody to eat farm-raised fish, but you do know that at least the grain crap that they feed these farm-raised fish doesn't contain any mercury. But eat tiny little fish, eat like anchovies and sardines and things like that to get your omega-3s, and you will probably not add to the mercury poisoning. But the seafood is the only thing that I can think of, unless you have lead water pipes or you're sucking on pennies in your mouth all the time. You probably won't have that problem. I hope that answered that question. It's a great question, and welcome, Stickman's Garage. Welcome to this little morning coffee chat. Now, I have a few, let me just say hi to a few people over here and I'll lean into this, in the Rumble chat real quick. Dawn67 is here. Ron Weeder. CC Stacker is here. Keet, K-E-T-E, says good morning to us. Brack56 is here. And PARTC64, that's Aussie gal. Wow, these blue. Everybody seems to choose purple, blue, and green for their names. NAB, Daybors. It says, carnivores really helped me and my wife. Just went over a year now. Congratulations and welcome. Good to see you here. And then Mike Seeley chimed in. So we do have a full page of chat and 22 people now over there in Rumble watching and 130 here. Okay, Ellen, have you got a question for me?
Dan McCarthy would like to know, how is the quality of meat at Aldi?
I'm not crazy. Their ground beef is okay. I have bought the pork loins back when I used to eat a lot of pork loin. I don't buy it anymore because it's too lean. The packaged pork loins they have is good. Many people tell me that some of the so-called grass-fed beef is okay. I saw a video yesterday about that. I don't remember who put it out. I don't know if Sean Baker was talking about somebody else, or it was Sean Baker or somebody basically was saying, and this is one opinion and don't take it. I did my video here about a month ago on my thoughts on the grass-fed beef that I saw that Sam's was carrying, that basically from a practical standpoint, their suggestion was eat grain-fed beef. It tastes better, has more fat, which is really probably the most important thing. And the nutritional difference is so small it doesn't matter. And there's no downside to the grain-finished beef. Oh, I know what it was. It was about, he was talking about that even with all the, he was talking about the MAHA, Make America Healthy Again movement. Mm-hmm. And they're stressing the importance of pasture-raised beef. And one thing he said, there's an extremely dangerous downside. Yes, I remember it was a Sean Baker video. And he said there was an extremely dangerous downside to trying to eliminate the feedlots and the factory farming. Yes, we can make it more humane, but it would reduce the meat supply drastically. Mm-hmm. And that would be very bad. Very, very bad when in a time where we need to increase the meat supply. And that's one of the things I noticed about that RFK speeches and all of the Make America Healthies. They're not talking about increasing meat and fat. That's one thing they're missing. They're only talking about toxins that they spray on vegetables That's their prime push. And that is nothing. That is causing no problems at all compared to the problems
Mm,
of the volume of those vegetables that we eat and the lack of meat and fat. Yeah, they cause problems. And yes, it'd be better off without them. But if you want to cure all the sick people in this country and take the best and most effective first step, it would be to get them all on a carnivore diet. Because that solves that all the problems. It solves the pesticide problem because you're not eating any plants, right? So there you
yeah.
go. That'll never happen. That'll
Right.
never happen.
But,
Uh,
yes.
but what he said was, and he went off to say that the difference, and he went on about the differences, and he says he gets some of the best grass-fed factory farm beef people send to him, and they want to get him to advertise, so they send him this stuff, and he said it's very rare to find that stuff that is marbled as well as any of the grain finished beef and tastes anywhere near as good. And most people find that grass fed, grass finished beef to be horrible compared to the taste of a good fatty marbled USDA prime ribeye or something like that. And I agree with that. So I eat only the factory farm beef. How did I get here? What was the original question I'm supposed to be answering?
No, I have to go back. Oh, the quality of meat at Aldi.
Oh, okay. Well, it's related to it. Yeah. I'm not crazy about any of the meat that they prepackage and label grass fed. That's a mark, as far as I'm concerned, that's just a mark. That's just
Right.
another marketing scam.
Hmm.
And everybody's getting into that because it works. It works. They're capitalizing on whatever message is getting out. And now, especially since we hear from our government that factory farming. Now, yes, it'd be great to encourage factory farming, but if we got a long way to go before we can supply all the meat demand in this country from
Yeah.
small factory family farms, forget that.
Well, that's true, but we do want to support. I want to support the small family farm, the
I
return of
agree.
family
I
farm. Even though
agree.
you're
I
right,
agree.
it's
I agree.
yeah, we can
But
do that.
there's always a practical side that if
Exactly.
we blow up the country, if we blow up the country and crash our economy by
Yeah.
shutting down every big food and pharma company, putting half the people in this country out of work, including the truck drivers that deliver the stuff, the retail stores that sell the stuff. Yeah, that's great. There'll be a couple of people who live next door to a farm where they can buy a quarter of a cow once in a while, and the rest of us will die. So you have to be very cognizant of how fast you try to fix something that took 100 years to get as screwed up as it
Oh,
is. And
absolutely.
and I'm a practical guy,
Yep.
and I know that, yes, of course, I would rather it be utopia with happy cows grazing in the sunshine on fertile soil, but in practicality, we still have 8 billion people on this planet to feed. And the reason we got into this mess we did was because plants are a much more efficient way to feed them. And it's sad, but it's just what happened. So at any rate, I don't want to come off as a hard ass here, Ellen, but
No, no, you're absolutely right.
thank you.
It's the reality.
Okay, so that's that.
Right. Anyway,
I tell you what, I've never gone wrong with the meat at Costco or Sam's Club or Publix or any of the bigger chains. Uh, and Chafee over there in Australia gets all of his meat from Costco. There's nothing wrong with it. The good thing, here's the good thing. The good thing about buying your meat from some outlet or supply chain that deals in thousands of tons of meat every day is you stand much better odds of getting fresh meat, good meat. It's not been sitting somewhere frozen for 2 years. Um, and that's why I go to Sam's Club. And I've been eating that beef for almost 2.5 years now. And I've never gotten sick. I've gotten my health is Everything I wanted out of this lifestyle has happened. My weight, I lost my weight. I lost my cravings. I eat a lot of that beef, ground beef, ribeyes, uh, New York strip steaks, but ribeyes mostly, and the Wright's bacon that I buy at Sam's. Um,
Yes.
the eggs, even though they say pasture raised on them, and I think that's a fraud, they're still brown eggs and they have slightly orangish yellow yolks. And as long as I keep doing good on this stuff, I'm going to say fine, fine. That's the best I can get or afford, and that's the best I can do, and that's all we can do for ourselves. So that's a good question about Aldi's, and I haven't tried. I just they have usually in my Aldi's such a small quantity of each kind of meat, if any. And I used to get their hamburger, but I found out that I even like the hamburger, the 80/20 that comes in the 10-pound chubs over at Sam's Club. That to me is the ground beef I've kind of settled into lately, and
Mm.
I really like that. So that's the answer. If you don't have a Sam's Club handy and you have to buy it at Aldi's, yeah, you can get some good meat at Aldi's. There's nothing wrong with it. Aldi's is a great store. All right, Ellen, what else you got there?
We have Meat Be Thy Meds would wants to know, is Spam a good carnivore prep for really lean times?
Uh,
That's
I'll,
like,
I'll defer. I'll defer to Ken Berry there.
I've never had Spam.
Um, I had it once, and it was fried. Okay,
Oh, fried
and they were actually advertising pan frying as like a breakfast meat
Oh,
instead of bacon or sausage. It's very tasty.
really?
Uh, but
Hmm.
I'm going to attribute Ken Berry for this next bit of information. And I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but I like to when I repeat something somebody else says, I always attribute them as the source of it. I don't ever want to take credit for somebody else's thoughts and research and allow people to think that this was me, that I came up with this. Everything that I tell you about the addiction and stuff like I never heard any of that anywhere. This is my conclusions over a lifetime. And Ken Berry, I quote him a lot because he is a great source of information, and I've learned so much from him. And he has a video that talks about that you can do carnivore with Spam and hot dogs. Remember that one, Ellen?
I don't know if I saw that one.
Yeah, he says if all you can afford
Well,
is
yes.
Spam and hot dogs, then you can do that, and you're 1,000% ahead of everybody else on this planet that's eating plants. So I would say, yeah, Spam is probably okay. Would I want to be on 100% Spam and hot dog diet? I don't think so. But I'll tell you what I just noticed, Ellen. I just noticed that two things. I haven't mentioned Buy Me a Coffee yet this morning.
I know. I put a link in. I'll put
You
another
did,
one.
okay, and that's my shameless plug for the day. Is that I appreciate those things. It really helps me keep doing this. And the next thing I forgot. Oh, I just found the end of the song. Let's wait patiently for it to begin again.
Wait patiently. That's
There
right.
it is. Okay,
Well,
and I have this brand new, never before smoked cigar. So will you all please excuse me? And Ellen is going to dance for us up there in the penthouse, and I will light this. And we'll get happy enjoying some happy music and put a smile on our face. Ah, yes. I love it. Thank you very much for your patience, my friends. Thank you. And we will fade out the music. And now, while answering these questions, if I think so hard smoke comes out of my ears, you won't know where it's coming from. You'll assume it's the cigar. And I think, let me look here. I haven't heard any ka-chings yet, but it's possible. Yes, yes, Isabella bought me a coffee. Thank
Oh,
you so much, Isabella. She
thank
says,
you. That was
appreciate you. That was very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I feel appreciated. Okay,
okay. And I
next question. Yes, what?
also put a link up again, not to plug shamelessly anything, but a link up to so people can get their very own old guy carnivore coffee mug.
Oh, the coffee mug. Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen any orders for those in the past couple of days, but
Well, um,
I think that
I'm
I'm well. Today I'm going to pick up the Mark coffee mug he sent me. It's at the post office, and I'll have that tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Another reminder, uh,
yeah, I'm sure with
and that's great.
and I'm sure with the holidays coming, those mugs are going to be flying off the
I
shelves.
would hope so. I would
But
hope so.
tell
I'm not
people
doing that. And
to get.
listen, if every YouTuber advertised as little as I do, half of them would be gone. I don't like to advertise, but we're here and we need to at least make it pay for itself.
Well, we are just kidding people. The mugs, it's a fun thing, if fun thing if you want to buy it and take a picture of yourself drinking out of it and send it to us, but don't feel obligated. That's not.
No, and I'm gonna show the pictures
This
of
is
those things on the live stream tonight. Don't forget, 8 o'clock p.m. tonight is a Tuesday night live stream, two
yes,
hours,
and
and
we're
we're
going to
gonna
see
be answering
plenty of pictures.
questions and showing pictures. I got pictures from people to show you. Uh, Gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good time.
Oh, thank you, Tammy Pitark. I am so lucky because these people in the chat help me do my job so I don't get fired. Mark C gifted 5 memberships.
Oh, thank you so much, Mark. That's
Send
great.
me that.
That's great.
Yes, thank you so much, Mark.
And
He
I
is
don't know if I could even find that
so
real
generous.
quick, but let me take a quick look over here at the actual chat, find that, and see who was gifted a membership. If I could scroll backwards, how long ago was that? Was that a long time ago or just recently?
Was about 10, 15, it was a 10,
Here it is. I see it right here. I can't show you on the screen, but Life After Carbs, Chris was gifted a membership. I like that one. I like that one. And Scotty was gifted a membership. Brian K, Tina Lander, and somebody named Steve was gifted a membership. Thank you so much, guys. We look forward to seeing you Thursday night. All right, Ellen. I
okay,
have a funny feeling we may go a little long this morning, but that's perfectly okay.
okay.
Perfectly okay.
I don't see any more questions today, but they.
Really? Okay. I thought I saw one back here.
Okay, but I have a list here. Let's just pop one off my list, and then I will go back and scroll. Because Sandy Blythe has asked this a couple times now. Mitch, and I'm finally getting you, Sandy. How did you first learn about carnivore?
How did I first learn about carnivore? It was a journey of low carb dieting since the early 1970s. Started with Atkins. So I've always bought into the low carb stuff, but never the no carb stuff. That was not even heard of back then. It was always more like a dirty keto. It wasn't even 20 grams a day. It was, try to be in ketosis. Everybody, that was the big thing always with low carb diets was the ketosis nonsense. And I think it's even, God, I saw a video yesterday of Annette Bosworth and Eric Westman seemed to be at odds over a few different things. And they did some reaction videos to each other, which of course never goes well. But they decided that they were going to have a debate, and she did a live stream where the two of them debated the differences in their approaches. And the primary difference is that Annette Bosworth, and I admire Boz. She's doing a lot of people a lot of good. She's got a big channel and big following, but her thing is measure, 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 measure.
Mm.
Every day, chart everything, track your ketones,
Ooh,
track your blood sugar, be in ketosis. You cannot succeed unless you're in ketosis. It won't work if you're not in ketosis. You got to know it. You got to do things to keep yourself. You got to fast more to be in ketosis. You got to take exogenous ketone drinks. You need to eat
Mm.
more certain fats. You need, it's all about keto. Eric Westman is exactly the opposite. He's like me. He says, and he's a keto guy. He's a follower of Atkins. He knew Atkins. He knew Robert Atkins in his earlier days. Learned a lot from him. And while it's important that your body be in ketosis, it doesn't have to be in huge ketosis 24/7 in order for this to work. Because if that's the case, then I've failed. It's just a fluke that I happen to have gotten healthy, lost weight. I have never taken a ketone measurement of my blood in my life.
Right.
Never. I say don't micromanage anything. I
Mm.
say trust your physiology. Trust your own programming. It was working perfectly long before we knew what the word ketone meant.
Yeah.
Back hundreds of millions of years, that physiology was chugging right along with
Mm-hmm.
healthy animals and living things before we decided that we needed to wire ourselves up to machines to monitor everything and
Right.
micromanage everything. Well,
Mhm.
that's my approach, and I agree wholeheartedly with Westman. Although I take it a step further and say, for most of us who are addicts, you can't eat. You have to be on carnivore to cure the addiction. You're not going to cure your carb addiction by eating carbs, which is what you're encouraged to do when you're on any other lifestyle. Any other lifestyle. You limit carbs, you selectively choose carbs based on their glycemic index. Carbs, carbs, carbs. Carbs are always on your mind. Your addiction is working 24/7 to try to get the worst carbs, get you to eat the highest glycemic, the highest in sugar carbs, because, like I keep saying, it still thinks that you'll be dead tomorrow if you don't get sugar, because that's what it's been used to for so many years. It takes it about 30 days to finally get the message you don't need sugar every day, and then your addictions start to wane. That's just, I think it's a fact. It baffles me I don't hear anybody else on YouTube talking about it. In Boz's and Eric Westman's entire video yesterday, there wasn't one mention of the word addiction. Not a single mention. Eric Westman doesn't concentrate on fat at all. And Ed Bosworth is all about fat. So the two of them couldn't be more different in their approach. That both of them are very reputable people, and they believe deeply in what they think, and they have helped many people with their individual approaches, and that's great. But I'm of a mind that really stay out of it. Stay out of it. Let your body regulate itself. You have only one thing that you need to consciously do, and that is don't eat plants and keep track of the ratios of fat to protein. That's all you have to think about. You can do intermittent fasting, but so many people who are carnivores find themselves intermittent fasting without even thinking about it. You're just not that hungry. You fall into that pattern, a pattern that comes from ancient times to us. The cavemen more than likely never ate more than once a day, and maybe once every 2 or 3 days if they were lucky. So yes, they were doing intermittent fasting, time restricted eating, not because they're watching some YouTube video, but because it was the natural course of when their food was available. So they did it without having to have a reason. We've gotten way too smart, and we keep trying to second guess all this stuff. And I keep telling people, you have one thing to do: just make sure you eat the right stuff, and let nature, let your programming Let it alone. Stop looking so close at the numbers. Now, if you're a severe diabetic, yeah, you may have to wear CGM for a little while to prove to yourself that you're killing yourself every time you eat sugar. That is the best and most useful thing you can do with a CGM is do some experiments. You only need to do them for a couple of weeks. Everybody tells you what a great diet food rice cakes are. Right, Ellen? Everybody tells you. Rice cakes, oh man, you want to lose weight, eat rice cakes.
Oh, yes.
Well, here's what you do. Hook yourself up to a CGM, eat a couple of rice cakes. Watch your blood sugar go up so fast that you're almost in a diabetic coma, and then decide, well, is that really a good idea? Is that really a good idea? Eat some dry popcorn. Eat some dry popcorn. And you'll see the same thing. Spike, crazy spike in blood sugar. That's why you're a diabetic. Then try a little experiment. Take that same popcorn and douse it with real drawn butter. Just soak it so it's gooey, soaked in butter. And then try eating that popcorn. And you know what? You won't get the insulin. You won't get the spike in blood sugar. It's amazing. It's amazing. But that was discovered way back in the days of the Zone Diet by Barry Sears, when they were wiring people up or taking their blood sugar every couple of minutes and watching what happened when they ate these various different kinds of foods. And that's where the glycemic index came from in the first place. And they noticed something very profound that nobody knows. I've been yelling at it for years at people. That if you have to eat sugar, you have to eat it in combination with huge amounts of fat at the same time, and you won't get the spike. You won't get the blood sugar spike. Fat inhibits the immediate digestion of the sugar. So if you had to have ice cream, don't buy low-fat ice cream. Buy Haagen-Dazs. Buy ice cream with the highest fat content you can. It will be the least fattening ice cream. But our fat phobia, which was a mistake in the first place, is so deeply embedded in us. This fat makes you fat. Well, fat has made me skinny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I tell people either I'm from Mars and not a human being, or what happened to me is what will happen to human beings if they stop listening to all of this misinformation and propaganda. Anyway, what was the question again, Ellen? I'm sorry. I mean, these things come into my head, and then I'll think, but I think it's well worth hearing, and I'm not losing a lot of viewers here. So we got 36 on Rumble right now, too. Wow.
The question was, how did you first learn about carnivore?
Okay, well, I learned about carnivore. I just kind of told you the whole story of a lifetime of finally learning about carbs, learning how they're metabolized, learning about what they do to your blood sugar, learning finally that, and then I went to keto and reduced my carbs to 20, and things got better, but the cravings didn't go away. Then, miraculously, about 2.5 years ago, I said to myself, I had an epiphany 2.5 years ago. I've been watching carnivore videos, and at first I thought it was crazy. I thought, it doesn't matter. I'm not eating enough carbs to hurt me. But what I didn't realize is that even a small amount of carbs was still keeping my addiction alive. And as long as I was keeping my addiction alive, things were never going to change. I was always going to have cravings and always be subject to a cheat day. I noticed how I've negotiated with myself, and I've made fun of that. I've basically said, you find yourself standing there in the drugstore at 3 o'clock in the morning in front of the ice cream counter going, well, just this one last time, it'll feel so good just to eat this. Well, I'll just eat this ice cream tonight, and I promise myself I'll start tomorrow, or I'll start on Monday. And we've all been there. And I don't have to prove that to any of us that have been dieting all our life and never sustaining it for life, never sustaining that hard-fought weight loss that we suffered and deprived ourselves and worked so hard in gyms and things to lose. Our body will get its way, and its way is it thinks it's going to be dead without sugar. I've never heard another soul on YouTube actually utter those words. Your body, your subconscious mind is convinced that you will not live another day unless it gets sugar. And the reason for that is that the human animal can store 1 day's worth of sugar, period. That is the most important thing that I ever noticed. It takes, they say, 30 days to make or break a habit. It takes your subconscious 30 days to adapt, to prove to itself that some programming it's running on isn't necessary anymore. That's why we do the tremendous amount of meat eating in the first 30 days, so that we can convince that stubborn subconscious of ours that we indeed will not be dead tomorrow if we don't eat the sugar. And the only way to not eat the sugar, and I'll say it again, is to kill your hunger completely. And the only way to do that is to keep eating. Period. Throw the scale away, like I always say. There are reasons, deep-seated psychological, physiological reasons for that simple advice that I finally hit me like an epiphany 2.5 years ago. And that's when I went over the push, having listened to all the carnivore videos, having proven to myself that yes, it works, even though I don't, want to do it. That's where I made the decision, in answer to your question, to become a carnivore. And I did it so firmly and with such conviction that I have not had a bite of anything that tasted sweet or any sweet tasting drink since then. And I'm over it now. I have no cravings, but I still am an addict. I still know that beast in my mind is maybe asleep, but I give it one little taste of carbs, I'll wake it up, and I'll be fighting the cravings again. And I will not go there because I'm so happy doing this. I want for nothing. I don't want any of that stuff anymore. I don't have cravings for it. I look at it the other way. I view it as the enemy. I view it as poison. So that's how I came to carnivore. And that's a great question, because it allows me to go off on all these other little side things that I keep talking about every day. I hate to use the word, but ad nauseum. And that's what we need to hear. And if you hear that every day and you actually try it, like I said, if you actually forget about weight loss when you start carnivore, knowing that when you finally convince your subconscious that you're not going to be dead tomorrow because you didn't get sugar today, when your body relearns that it's supposed to be metabolizing fat, not protein, when you can get past your doctor telling you your cholesterol's through the roof, which is where it's supposed to be when you're a fat burner, your life will change. Your chronic conditions will go away. You will lose your weight, unless you've done so much damage to yourself over the years that you've broken things that simply are too far gone. And that's sad. And that means not everybody will achieve that kind of success. But a lot of people do, and I did. And I got rid of rheumatoid arthritis. I got rid of fatty liver. I got rid of gout. I got rid of eczema, eye floaters. High blood pressure all my life on 2 medications. I got rid of that. Joint pain. Not to mention the 60 or 70 pounds I got rid of. That happened without me even thinking about it. It would have happened whether I had a scale or not. And relying on the scale, as we do, for positive reinforcement that what we're doing is working, does not take into account that we all will stall at certain points along this weight loss journey. It is natural for the body to want to hold on to hard gained energy. Even that annoying little dog that's barking across the street.
Doggy.
Oh my God, they do that. They put that dog out on the
I
front
know,
porch.
I know.
Yeah, yeah, and
I
it
know,
barks
Mitch.
away, and hopefully she'll realize that it's annoying. And I'm
That
sure,
dog,
they're nice people. And if I told her, listen, I'm doing a live stream, she would keep the dog in the house. But I don't ever talk to her about the dog. I don't want to be that neighbor. So there, got quiet now. Maybe it'll stay quiet. Um, what the point that I was making was that. What was the point I was making, Ellen? That just threw me for a loop. The distraction of that.
well, well, let's see. You know
You don't
what?
remember either. That's okay. Don't
Oh,
worry about it.
oh,
I
the
made. I think I already. I
are
think
you
I
from
made the point.
Carnivore? And I think you answered it really well.
Thank you. Thank
So
you. And I
very
think,
good.
wow, it's
Yeah,
we're 10
I'm
minutes overtime here already this
over.
morning.
There's one quick question.
Okay, shoot.
And then William McCartney wants to know what William McCarthy. I'm sorry, William.
McCartney. Isn't it McCartney or is it
Like
McCarthy?
Paul. Okay, I'll get it. I'll get it. Wants to know what kind of brand of cigar you smoke.
Brand. Oh, that's an easy one. Right now I'm smoking a Perdomo Fresca Toro Maduro. It's a very inexpensive cigar, but well made and great flavor. It's from Perdomo. They're a good factory. Um, they sell them in bundles of 25. And they don't come in fancy boxes. They don't have big fancy rings. It's not a status thing. It's just a good everyday cigar. Um, they make them in different wrappers. I like Maduro, but they have Habana. They have Connecticut. They have many different shapes. They have torpedoes, toros, gordos, robustos, all that stuff. But the one that I smoke most, the one I'm smoking today, is the Perdomo Fresca. Toro is the shape, Maduro is the wrapper. And I see that Captain America bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. And Blanca Bibriesca, I guess I'm pronouncing that right, bought me a coffee as well. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I wanted to acknowledge that, my friends, and I will reply to those at some point, and thank you personally for that. So, Ellen,
Yes.
I think that'll wrap it up for today. I'll wrap it up for today. We ended the day. Right now, 37 people watching on Rumble. Wow. Welcome, everybody over there, although it's some of the same people. It's good to see you over there. It'll show Rumble that this is getting more popular. That's important. More and more people, even if it's just a couple, seem to be tuning in on Rumble every day and help grow that. So it was a great morning, and I hope we motivated you, informed you, entertained you, and anything else that made it worthwhile for you guys. Let me bring Ellen in, and I'll let her say goodbye. That's your cue.
It was a great morning. And we were just talking about time at the beginning, and boy, does it go fast during this chat. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for the great discussion, for the great comments. I'm so glad you were here. Have a great day and a great night wherever you are.
And we'll see you, Ellen, tonight at 8 o'clock.
That's right.
Yeah.
More fun.
We'll do more of this. Okay, see you later. All right. Thanks, Ellen. Thanks so much. What a trooper. Great to see you all. Let me go through my normal routine here in exiting. I will relight my cigar, have another sip of my coffee while you say goodbye to each other in the chat. And I watch the viewer count start to tumble as people say, I guess he's done, and don't care to watch me relight my cigar as the music ends again. Okay. With that being said, guys, see you tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. for my Tuesday live stream. Got some cool stuff to show you. Hope you're there. Look forward to it. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Thank you all for participating. Thanks for the questions. I hope the answers gave you what you needed. And with that, my friends, we can all Me too. Until tonight. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.